Hey guys, it's Giridhar here. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Honor 5C. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about it. The Honor 5C is priced at Rs 10,999. So let's talk about the mobile and see whether it's worth the price. The Honor 5C has a metal body and a brushed metal finish which is very similar to the Honor 5X. The finishing gives it a better grip to handle. The Honor 5C has a 5.2-inch display and weighs about 155 grams. Though it's not a lightweight mobile, the size and form factor makes it a very comfortable device to handle. The fingerprint sensor is at the back just below the camera module. The camera module has a slight protrusion and it is assisted by a single LED flash. The audio jack is on the top while the micro USB port is at the bottom. The buttons are on the right. They have a good tactile feedback. The left has a hybrid dual SIM tray. It can either have one nano SIM and a micro SD card or two nano SIM cards. Honor 5X had a separate tray for SD card and that was a huge welcome. Wish 5C had taken the same path. Otherwise, the design is neat and it has a stylish appeal to it. Honor 5C's 5.2-inch display can support Full HD resolution and that gives it a good pixel density. The display takes over the major part of the body and gives it a good body to display ratio. The bezels are thin, but the white colored plastic on the front gives an illusion of a thicker display. The display is bright and the colors are natural. The text and the image artifacts are crisp. Direct sunlight visibility is a concern and the screen is a fingerprint magnet. The viewing angles are good under indoors. The ambient light sensor is quick to respond and change the brightness levels accordingly. Overall, the display is pleasant to use and I have nothing to complain here. Honor 5C is powered by high-silicon Kirin 650 octa-core processor with a 2GB of RAM. I can give you numbers after numbers and talk about benchmark scores, but in real life, the performance of this processor is no less than any mid-level Snapdragon processor. In fact, it is closely matched to the performance of a few high-end mobiles. It's got an Adreno 405 for graphics processor and it has helped it to run all high-end games which I threw in it. On continuous gaming, it did warm up a little by about 4 degrees in about 30 minutes, but it had no overheating issues. Also, the mobile has 2GB of RAM. I felt that it must have been loaded with a minimum of 3GB of RAM. Not only did the games load slowly, the UI had a few transition animations and I felt a better RAM could have made the transition smoother. The transition animations gives it a pseudo lag and I had to disable them from the developer options. Kirin 650 is definitely a good processor and with its 60nm fabrication, it does give the mobile a strong spinal support. Honor 5C runs on Android 6.0 out of the box. The UI is a custom skin by Huawei, which is EMUI or the Emotion UI. The EMUI has a bunch of features which comes in very handy. Though the Honor 5C is a 5.2-inch mobile, long press on the multitask button will get you to the dual screen mode. In this mode, you can use two apps at the same time. Swapping down the home screen will open the search bar on which you can search for any apps on the mobile. There are other useful features like the floating dock, motion control gestures, one-hand UI, voice control, etc. The mobile has a built-in activity tracker which is always on and tracking your steps. If there is one thing I hate about the EMUI, that would be the transition animations. These animations give the mobile a pseudo-lag feel and it does frustrate at times. It can be disabled via the settings in the developer options, but how many of you would really care to do it? I wish Honor had provided a simple toggle in the UI to disable and do away with all the unnecessary transition animations. Honor 5C has a 13-megapixel shooter at the back and an 8-megapixel front shooter. The 13-megapixel real-facing camera has nothing special to mention, but it's an average mobile camera. Frankly, I was expecting a lot out of this camera, mainly because of the dedicated digital signal processing chip in the Kirin 650 processor. The DSP was able to give it a fast processing speed between snaps and enhance the low light shots quality. But the color reproduction was not perfect and very inconsistent. At challenging light conditions, the yellows were undersaturated and appeared to be white. Overall, the colors appear faded out and not producing that punchy effect. As mentioned, low light performance was commendable and that requires a special mention. The front-facing 8-megapixel camera is a good selfie shooter and good for video calls as well. Camera on the Honor 5C failed to impress me. Probably I had my expectations level too high. The mobile is powered by a 3000 mAh battery. With the included charger, the battery filled up in 2 hours from 10 to 100%. My normal usage would include about 30 minutes of calls, regularly checking the screens for WhatsApp and Facebook notifications, clicking a few shots with the camera, and a few hours spent watching YouTube or video clips. On my normal usage, I get over 30 hours of battery life with up to 3.5 hours of screen on time. Thanks to its small screen and resource-sensitive processor, the Honor 5C has a good battery life that you can depend upon. After using the Honor 5C for over 2 weeks, it has come out to be one of my favorite mobiles in the 10,000 rupees segment due to its battery and performance. The camera performance is a point of worry only if you're really judgmental about colors. The size of the mobile is very compact and highly ergonomic. The design is also slick and sturdy. EMUI, the software layer on Honor 5C, is very interesting. It is highly functional and feature-rich. Huawei has done a good job in optimizing Android M for Honor 5C. Overall, Honor 5C is money well spent and you would never regret buying it. It is priced at Rs 10,999 while recording this video, and it is available exclusively on Flipkart. So that is Honor 5C, guys. I would definitely recommend it. So that's it from my end. If you like the video, do hit the like button and subscribe, and also share the video with your friends. Until I see you in the next video, this is Giridhar signing off.